Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Southeastern Connecticut Real Estate Questions and Answers. Hi, I'm Bridget Morrissey.
And I'm April Brunelle.
And we're here to guide you through the process of purchasing a home. So today we're going to talk about first quarter in Southeastern Connecticut, and we're going to go town by town. And we want to show you what the average prices are, how they've increased, and we think that it'll be very informative if you are looking to purchase a home or you're looking to sell your home. So let's get started with the first town, which I believe is going to be Stonington. Here we are, Stonington single family homes. That's what we're going to focus on today, single family homes. So in Stonington, we are looking at first quarter of 2024 versus 2025. So last year, there were, first quarter, two bedroom homes and 17 three-bedroom homes that sold. And the 4 bedrooms, there were 7. So there was a total of 26 homes that sold, single-family homes that sold last year in Stonington, just Stonington alone. And the average price for 2 bedrooms was $426,500, and the 3 bedrooms was $538,65, and 4-bedroom average price home in Stonington last year was $823,143. So that's kind of interesting. Now let's look at 2025. So we had 2 bedrooms in first quarter. There were 8 sold. 3 bedrooms were 17, which is the same as 24. But the 4 bedrooms was 10 as opposed to 7 and 24. So we had a total of 35 single-family homes sold in Stonington in 25 first quarter. So that's an increase of 34.6%. Now, what's interesting is the prices and where they are heading. So for 2 bedrooms, the price went down. $332,408, which was, over 20% decrease in 2-bedroom homes. Now, there were 8 sold, so that's quite a few in that first quarter as compared to last year. So this year, 3-bedroom homes, the average price is $586,854. This is 3 bedrooms. That's an increase of almost 10% over last year. But now this is interesting. 4 bedrooms in Stonington, the average price right now is, in third quarter, was $1,118,900. That was an increase of 36%. That's quite a big increase. So, and your total average is $687,008. So around $700,000 is an average price in Stonington right now, and that's 12% over last year of $606, last quarter last year. So that's Stonington. We all know Stonington is a very hot market, and so now let's take a look at, I think Ledyard is next?
I think it's Groton.
Oh, Groton's next. Yep. Groton's next.
So okay. Groton has a different story, which is the numbers tell a unique side of it. So last year, that's the top portion. In the first quarter, 2 bedrooms, there was 7 sold. 3 bedrooms, 35 sold, so quite a number. 4 bedrooms were 13 sold, so a total of 54 single-family homes sold last year's first quarter. The 2-bedroom average price at that time last year was $216,357. For 3 bedrooms, it went higher, of course, for $403,537. And for 4 bedrooms, $603,000. So the total average was about 426,860. So now when we start comparing it to the first quarter of this year, you can see that 2 bedrooms, it went up from 7 of last year to 11 this year. It went from 3 bedrooms of 35 sold last year to 30 this year. So fewer 3 bedrooms sold, but more 2 bedrooms sold. And then if you look at the 4 bedrooms, 13 versus 9. So again, it decreased. Where it's interesting because in Stonington, the more bedrooms increased as the 2 bedrooms decreased, but it looks like it's kind of the opposite in Groton.
Can I just interject a little
Of
bit?
course.
I think that the reason for the 2 bedrooms selling is basically, I think, because of EB. You know, you have these people coming in to work at EB, and you know, they don't have families yet, most of them, because they're right out of college. And I think that might be the reason for that going up. But I could be wrong. But
Could
I'm
be
just
definitely
guessing.
a younger demographic.
It's kind of what hit me. But
Yeah. And then the averages for the prices, last year's first quarter 2 bedroom were 216,357. This year it's 215,582. So not a big, huge difference. A little drop of maybe 0.4%, but not a huge difference. 3 bedrooms went from 403,537 to 472,236. So that actually went up about 17%. And then the 4 bedrooms were 603,000, and now they're 615,437. So that went up 2%. So overall, we went up about 3.4% to 441,548 for an average. So as you can see on this, the average price ranges are still going up, still holding steady. It's just a little different view than, say, in Stonington. And next we have Ledyard. So in Ledyard, we can see what their story is. In the first quarter of last year, there were 4 2-bedrooms sold, 32 3-bedrooms sold, and 19 4-bedrooms sold. The average 2-bedroom price was $207,722. 3-bedroom was $357,796, and the 4 bedrooms were $450,700 for an average about $378,975. Compared to the first quarter of this year, we had 4 2-bedroom last year. We have 8 this year, so that's a 100% increase, so double the amount. 3 bedrooms went from 32 to 20, so dropped a little bit, almost 40%. 4 bedrooms from 19 to 15, so dropped a little bit, about 21%. And the total was 55 last year, and this year is 43. So actually a fewer number of houses sold this year in Ledyard during the first quarter than the first quarter of last year.
okay, so April, I think this tells a big story.
It does.
And the story is that this year there are less houses on the market. And so, especially in Ledyard, where it's a big community with families, so the 3 and 4 bedrooms, you
Yes.
know, there's just less of them, less houses on the market. So there's less inventory, there's less to sell, and
You're left
you know,
competing with more people for
smaller
amount.
Yeah. So, and again, I think the 2-bedroom has a lot to do with this EB, because a lot of people, you know, or it could even be military, I don't know, but that's just my thought on that.
Yeah.
Sorry for
No, it's fine. And so if we look at the pricing, the prices from last quarter to this quarter, the 2-bedroom average actually dropped 7%, went from 207,722 to 192,850. 3 bedrooms actually went up, which isn't surprising, from 357,796 to 380,032. And the 4 bedrooms also went up from 450,700 to 468,667. So what that tells me is more families are moving into Ledyard, and so that's driving the 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom housing.
Right. So the total average in Ledyard is 376, 126. So let me just say, if you live in Ledyard and you're thinking about selling, I don't think we'll have a problem finding a buyer.
No, especially if it's a 3 or 4 bedroom.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there looking, and yeah, it's just it's a real crazy market, and everybody, you know, the interesting thing is people always say to me, "Oh, how's the market?" You know, they know you're in real estate, they hear you're in real estate. How's the market? So that's a tough question to answer if you're not asking, oh, how's the market in Stonington? How's the market in Ledyard? You know, so these statistics will really show us. And what's interesting is now it shows us, not that we didn't really know, because you know, I've had people say, oh, what's the average house sale in Stonington recently? And I said around 700,000. And boy, I'm almost right?
Yeah.
So we do know the market, and we do know the average prices of the market. So I think we have one more. I think we have North Stonington.
We do.
North Stonington, one of my favorite towns. I don't live there, but you know, I love selling in North Stonington. Single family homes again. Now, mind you, there's not a lot of houses for sale in North Stonington. Mm-hmm. You know, the population obviously is less than in Stonington. But North Stonington, let's see, 24, there were 8 2-bedrooms, interesting, 3 bedrooms, 2, 4 bedrooms, 4, total of 14 houses sold first quarter last year in North Stonington. Well, that's pretty good, actually. It's a lot of houses in one quarter. So the average 2-bedroom was $328,113. 3-bedroom, we don't have any averages there.
No, because it was only.
Oh, there were no sales.
Yeah,
that makes sense, right? So in March of last year, there was 403,750. So the average, 403,750. So 4 bedrooms. Wow, 150 for a 4-bedroom? That must have been a flip or something, a investment property.
That was a good find.
Yeah, wow. So 393,500. That's more like it. So the 4-bedroom average 321,750. Overall average 337. Well, that makes sense, but it did go up this year in first quarter. What went down though, which is interesting, is the amount of houses sold.
Yeah.
Look at that. One in the 2 bedrooms, 7 in 3 bedrooms, and 1 in 4 bedroom, for a total of 9 altogether. So that's quite a difference. But I have noticed that there are not that many houses in North Stonington that are coming on the market.
No.
And if one does, it goes very, very fast. So the average 2-bedroom,
they all went up.
465.
Yep.
That's it. Just one, and then 3 bedrooms. So it went up 41% in that one sale. That one sale made it go up.
Made a big difference.
So that's interesting. And then the 3-bedroom in North Stonington, let's see, went up 5% to 424. And there were sales every month, so that's good. And then the 4-bedroom, which is kind of surprising, but there was only one sale, 775.
So yeah, that bumped it up.
That was the house I sold. I don't think so. That wasn't this year. So that it went up 140%, but there was only one sold. But that'll tell you a little bit about a 4-bedroom in North Stonington right now. So the average price total average price in North Stonington is $468. Interesting. So it went up 40% over last year. Now, again, I think this shows you there's not that many houses on the market at all.
No,
and in North Stonington, when one goes on the market, I think it sells very quickly. And a lot of people want to live in North Stonington. So, and then what do we have next? Now
we have one more slide that compares Stonington to Groton to Ledyard. So you can see it all on one slide. So you could see that, in Stonington, the 2 bedrooms more sold this year. 3 bedrooms stayed about the same, 4 bedrooms sold more. So overall, Stonington sold more houses this year as compared to last year. Prices did go up, whereas in Groton, the number of 2 bedrooms sold went up, 3 bedrooms dropped a little, and 4 bedrooms dropped a little. And overall, the price still went up. And in Ledyard, we increased the 2 bedrooms sold this year prior to last year in general, and 3 bedrooms dropped and 4 bedrooms dropped a little, but the price is still going up.
You know, I love looking at these charts because it really tells a big story, and it's interesting. So the average price in Ledyard first quarter went down from last year's first quarter, which really is a big surprise. I mean, seriously, because everywhere else it's going up. So I think the story that it tells here, if you're thinking about buying, this is, I mean, don't wait, because this is just showing you how prices are going up and up and up. And except for in Ledyard, down a little bit, but I'm sure they're going
But overall,
back
the
up.
inventory is low.
Yeah. So, so what that's saying is, if you're thinking about buying, so many people say, "Oh, I'm going to wait until the prices drop." You know what? They're not dropping. Their prices are appreciating. Houses are appreciating, and prices just are not going to come down.
At least not with the statistics we're seeing.
No. And that tells you right there. I mean, that is, telling a story. So, yeah. So that's interesting. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about a couple of different things. And one is, April found this nice article on, it's an article from the National Association of Realtors, and we thought we'd kind of share a little bit about it. It's a report that they put out recently about what it is you need to prioritize if you plan to sell within the next year or two. So you probably notice when you're driving around that the home remodeling business is really booming. I mean, everywhere you go, there's additions and there's
New bathroom, new installs.
Yeah. I know we're doing a lot of renovations in our house. Maybe in a couple of years we might sell. So this article was really good.
Because not every project will get you back the money you think it will.
And that's exactly right.
So this article is really great at honing in on what investments will you get back more than, say, another project, which some of them did surprise me.
I was totally surprised by the closet renovation.
Yeah, the closet renovation, it says on here, I'm going to quote this, is 83% of your investment you get right back, which is interesting because usually a closet renovation is not a high-end project.
Right. So I guess I better check out those closets.
I gotta fix my closet.
So the one thing that they said is if you put steel front doors on a door on your house, we have steel front doors, that's why I said doors. The estimated return based on upfront costs is 100%.
That's quite a lot.
So to me, the biggest thing for me when I talk with sellers is I always tell them the most important thing I feel is curb appeal. And that front door is going to help that curb appeal.
100%.
If your front door, look at that nice red front door. I mean, that's beautiful. So if your front door is, steel, it's going to bring back, and then it says here wood door. Wait, didn't it say?
The fiberglass
door
is 80%, so
80%.
You're still getting a great amount back.
That's exactly right. And the other thing is new windows. We all know, windows, they're important. People come in and look at your house. They look at the windows. And they should. And as agents, we say, let's take a look at the windows and see.
And what was interesting is this article compared wood versus vinyl windows, and there was really just a slight difference. So either direction you go is still a great direction.
Yeah, I didn't even know they made wood windows.
Oh, they do.
I guess they do. Especially if you have an antique house, right?
Yeah.
An antique house, that needs wood windows to stay with the style of the house.
Mm-hmm.
But that gives you a 71% return, and vinyl windows 74%.
Yeah. Another good one was the basement conversion, which is big nowadays when you want to convert your basement to living area. And that's a 71% return, which is a very good percentage return. So it's a good investment.
Yeah, this one surprised me. Attic conversion to living area, 67% return. So if you have an attic, well, maybe if you have a walk-up attic and you can walk up there and wow, 67% return.
Yeah, I was thinking about Victorians and how they have those nice stairs that go up. If you can convert that, definitely.
Right. Yeah, we've sold a couple of those, right?
And then, of course, the most popular kitchen renovations, because everybody wants a new kitchen when they move in or want to upgrade their kitchens. And the return on investment is only 60%. So it's not bad, but it's not as good as some of the smaller projects.
Yeah, if you do a complete renovation, 60%. But if you just do a minor kitchen upgrade, it's again at 60%. So a lot of times people will change out the countertops, put in new appliances, or put in new appliances and not change the countertops. Maybe what is that?
Kitchen island.
Kitchen island. An island's a big one. Everybody wants an island. What are some of the other things in kitchen?
Eat-in bar. They'll add those in. Backsplashes.
Yeah.
Newer sinks.
Yeah. Wow, I'm surprised it's only 60%.
What even surprised me more is the bathroom renovation. It only return on investment is 56%, and that's an addition.
Yeah, that's an addition.
Which I thought would be even more.
Wait, there's something here about a bathroom renovation.
Yep, this is a very big article. Yes, it's right here. So a bathroom renovation is 50%.
Wow.
Which also surprised me.
Yeah. We're in the process of doing bathroom renovations. Well, I'm a little disappointed we're only going to get 50% back on our return.
But it's still a good investment in your house.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to go through this report too, because it also touched on other items like a new roof. And they're finding that more homeowners today versus say 30 years ago are more likely to invest in fixing up their roofs before they sell, which is a big draw for people to purchase their home. It makes them feel more welcoming and less risk on their part to purchase a house that has a new roof.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. New roof, maybe new gutters, gutter gods, vinyl soffits.
But I was surprised that wasn't in the article was mini splits or, the cooling systems that people add to their homes to increase the value. So that was very interesting that it wasn't included in that article.
Wow. Well, we don't have too much time left, so we hope that this is helpful to anyone that's thinking about selling or buying. And you can see the charts. If you're selling, the charts showed you how the increases are. So I think, take a look at that and you'll maybe be able to understand a little bit more when your realtor comes and talks to you about what your house is actually worth and why. So
this is a great snapshot in where the market is right now in real estate. So when you always get that question, how's the real estate market? Well, right now this is the latest data that we have, and of course we'll have more data as the second quarter comes along, and we'll keep you updated on all that as that comes. It's always exciting.
It is. We hope that we hope you're enjoying our program because we're enjoying doing it.
Yeah.
And we're having a lot of fun. And thanks to April, she's the one. And thanks to my husband Will, who puts all this information together for us. We want to thank him, and for his help.
And if you have any questions and you want certain topics covered or anything like that, just let us know.
That's right. Do we have a Facebook page for this program?
Not yet, but we do have SEC TV. You can find our programs there.
Oh, true.
And at the end of the program, our emails are listed, and maybe we'll have to put that website together.
Yes, I think we should. And then, of course, you can watch us on YouTube. go to SEC TV on YouTube, and you'll find us there. So this is our third episode. So we have done a couple of others, and we hope that you will take a look at them.
Yeah.
So we thank you.
Thanks. Check them out, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep, we'll see you next time.